In a previous segment, I mentioned that we should be emailing our subscribers frequently so they don't forget about us, but not too frequently or we risk them complaining. So how do we get the frequency right? The frequency of email communications for nonprofit organizations is usually based on several factors, including your organization's goals, the nature of your programs, and the preferences of your stakeholders. But there are some common general guidelines that your organization can consider. The first is consistency. Consistency is key. You want to establish a schedule for sending emails because it helps form expectations among stakeholders and ensures that your organization remains on their radar. In that schedule that you develop, there will likely be 3 primary types of communication: standard newsletters, event-based communication, and appeals. So let's start with newsletters. Monthly newsletters are the most common frequency for nonprofits. They're typically used to provide updates on ongoing projects, share success stories and examples of impact, and highlight opportunities to engage at upcoming events, in volunteer roles, and of course, as a donor. And they're a great place to introduce readers to your other channels if you're utilizing social media platforms or producing a podcast. Event-based communications are more narrow and tactical. They often feature an invitation to take part in an event or donate to make the event a success. They can also include details like event logistics, volunteer recruitment, and updates on milestones in event planning. And I know you're probably sick of hearing me talk about segmentation, but for event-related emails, segmentation can be important. You want to invite your global list and then narrow as people engage, or you may just revisit lists of past attendees for that event or similar events and target them directly. When it comes to appeals, we may send emails to support annual campaigns, Giving Tuesday, back-to-school drives, ask for summer snack donations. There are a lot of ways to appeal for donations of items and funds. In addition to these pre-planned calendared events, we may also send an email appeal if there's an immediate need for support. These messages are typically much more direct with a call to action in a primary location. We just need to make sure our balance of appeal emails stays in check to avoid donor fatigue. Now, keep in mind, I know I keep talking about segmentation, but that's because it's really important. When you segment your email list based on stakeholder preferences, interests, and engagement levels, you can tailor your content to specific groups, ensuring relevance and avoiding over-communication to those who may be less interested. So when you build out your email schedule, you're not going to be sending every email to everyone. You'll want to identify which messages are most suitable for which audiences. That itself will keep you from overloading inboxes with excessive emails. Just remember that you need to have every department who will be sending emails at the table when the schedule is built, and you'll need a point person that the team can go to with a request when an urgent appeal arises. That lead should have a handle on all of the emails that are on the calendar and which audiences they are being sent to. That same lead should also be responsible for your contact list management and assessing analytics. And speaking of analytics, let's not discount the power of testing and assessing. Regularly analyzing your email performance metrics such as open rates, click-through rates, and unsubscribe rates can help you optimize the timing and frequency of your email campaigns. Ultimately, the key is to find the right balance between staying top of mind with stakeholders and respecting their time and preferences. If you're intentional about assessing the effectiveness of your email strategy and are willing to adjust your approach based on the evolving needs and preferences of your audience, you'll definitely find a sweet spot.